CData Arc is an enterprise B2B integration platform that includes business logic capabilities like dynamic file routing. In this video, we'll see how the updated branch connector simplifies dynamic file routing for use cases like handling multiple different EDI document types from the same business partner. So let's say you have an AS2 connection to a trading partner, and you send purchase orders to this trading partner via EDI X12. In response, the trading partner sends back two different X12 documents. First, a purchase order acknowledgement, which is X12-855, and second, an invoice for your purchase, which is X12-810. We want to gracefully handle both of these document types coming through the same AS2 connection. In Arc, we first use a singular X12 connector to validate the EDI data and translate it into XML for further processing. The X12 connector also stores the X12 transaction code, which is the document type, as a header for the message as it travels through the flow. This will be helpful for our dynamic file routing. Next, the EDI data is passed along to this branch connector, which is doing the file routing work in this example. The branch connector is configured with conditional logic that determines which flow path is appropriate for this data. If we examine the branch connector settings, we can see that the conditional logic is checking for a specific message header called X12 transaction code. This is the header that is automatically appended to the Arc message after it's validated by the X12 connector. If that header has the value 810, then we treat this message as an invoice, but if it has the value 855, then we know it's a purchase order acknowledgement. The branch connector automatically routes the EDI data along the appropriate flow path so it can be mapped into our backend Postgres database. We need a different mapping for different EDI document types, so the branch connector's role is critical for this flow to function correctly. Finally, if the document type doesn't match either of our expected values, 810 or 855, then the fallback flow path determines what happens to the data. In this example, we're routing the file to a notify connector, which emails a system admin to alert them to the issue. Now let's turn our focus to an example of using the branch connector for more advanced dynamic routing. For this case, we want to treat EDI documents differently depending on a particular value within the EDI data itself. So let's say we're receiving EDI purchase orders, and we want to treat the purchase order differently if the quantity of an item being ordered is unusually high. As you'll recall from the first example, the X12 connector translates our EDI purchase order into XML before passing it along to the branch connector. Here in the branch connector, we can access the structure of our EDI data by using the sample file feature, which provides a template of our source data. In this case, the template is being read from this X12 connector earlier in the flow. Once we have the sample file set, instead of checking for a message header, we can check for an XPath, where XPath just means the location of a particular value within an XML document. So if I click on the value for this XPath, the structure of my EDI document is displayed in such a way that I can simply find and choose the EDI element that contains the value that I'm interested in. In this case, the quantity of an item being ordered is held in P0102, so I can simply select that element. Now I can set the data type to number, which allows my conditional logic operators to include greater than. And now if the quantity is greater than, say, 100, I want to route this purchase order along a different flow path. Now I can use this flow arrow in the branch connector to build out the rest of my workflow that handles high quantity purchase orders. So with this configuration in the branch connector, Arc can dynamically check for high quantity purchase orders and treat them differently by routing them down a different flow path from other EDI documents. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. And as always, you can find more resources at arc.cdata.com.